that is what we'll be looking at. We'll try to be looking at the technical analysis and also good for us to check into the fundamental analysis of what this token is actually really all about. So these are many more we'll be looking at into this section. So welcome everyone, welcome everyone. Let's start joining as we go live into this interesting session. Please along to this class. If you have any question, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box in which justice is going to be done as we move ahead in the course of today's session. So are you live? If you're live, can you tell me you're ready to move on with today's interesting class? So you can kindly let me know if you're ready to move on with today's interesting class. So welcome everyone. Welcome everyone, welcome everyone to today's interesting section. So you can actually type on the chat box to show that you are listening to me and ready to move on with what we are about to discuss in today's interesting conversation. So we're looking at soul. Now, so analysis, what do we understand by this? What is this actually? We're actually focusing on, we're looking at the fundamental analysis. We'll be going to coin market cap to actually check what is actually saying currently in the market. How can we actually trade it? How can we actually go on it? And there's some basic information we need to know about this project. That is what we'll be looking at in the course of today's section. So if you're joining us for the first time, you're welcome. If you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box as we move ahead in this section. So now we all know we this token that we're actually talking about actually has a white paper and actually has a token that actually it's actually is a kind of a gaming where so yeah, it's a gaming, it's all about gaming and all that. And we are also going to look at the white paper, we'll look at the tokenomics, we'll also look at the roadmap of this token that we are actually focusing on in our discussion today. So I'm just waiting for to get one or two comments on the chat box before we move ahead into this conversation. So waiting to hear to get one or two comments on the chat box before we move ahead into this conversation. So now, what is this actually? What is this current? What is the current trade of this token right now? Okay, it's around 0 point. Okay, it's currently trading at it's bullish. It's currently bullish in the market space. It's currently trading at 0.003. Now, I remember yesterday when we actually on this on trade, we actually said, oh, the market is not okay. A lot of stuff is actually happening in the market based on the speculation and the idea of how the market is actually going and all that. But today the case is actually different because the market is actually coming back to normal. The market is actually reshaping itself, which is actually a good sign when we're talking about the crypto market and what we need to know about this. So these are many more we will be looking at as we move ahead, trying to get basic information about what is actually happening in the market. How can we actually know okay when to stay in the market, when to go off the market, the kind of trade to take in the market. So these and many more we'll be looking at as we move ahead in the course of today's session. Please and please along the way, if you need any clarification, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box so that justice can be done as we move ahead in the course of today's conversation. So if you have any question whatsoever, you're free to ask as well. So now we can see this current trade. This is 1 hour. This is 1 hour trade. You can see the way you can see how it's ranging currently. You can see it's in a kind of moving. Let's do a kind of fundamental technical analysis here. Let me change it back to 1 minute time frame. Just trying to get the right position of the market. 30 minutes. It's loading. I'm trying to take it back to 30 minutes token. Now, what we've not actually talked about what this token is actually really about. What is this soul token? What is the because you have to understand the utility behind this token. Is not just talking about token and other. Now, what is the utility? What is the token actually really all about? What are they actually doing in the market now? Are they actually solving any problem? Now, I do tell people that before you go to any trade, whatsoever the market is going to say and other, you have to understand some various points about what the market is saying about that token that you're looking at. Now, what is the market actually saying concerning this token? So this is what we'll be looking at. What actually the market is currently saying concerning this token. How can we actually, and also be looking at the white paper of this token to get basic understanding. Okay, what is the white paper of this token? How can we actually leverage on this white paper and actually getting headway when looking at it? And also these and many more we'll be looking at in the course of this conversation as we move ahead into this interesting section. So please, along the way, I still insist, if you have any question, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box so that we can do justice to it as we move ahead. So now, looking at this white paper right here, we have the white paper now. This is the main project is the unflattered. This is actually the unfettered. That is the main that is the name of the project, the unfettered. But the unfettered, it actually has a native token, and that is what we know, and the native token is not as soul, for example. Now, but what is this unfettered? What is it actually all about? Now, based on what we have here now, we can see it now. You see, join Lura is a kind of a, now they are trying to explain what this flag is actually all about. Now join Lura on a perilous journey through the traditions world of Atla, which focused the darkest threats of the Angelun, everything in their path. Help her battle the dreadless field and demons have emerged from the world, from the underworld, and save the land of certain doom and all that. Now, what is their focus of actually bringing out this project and all that? Now, at the Unflattered, we are dedicated to deliver an AA quality story based action, DABLGP RPG at a soul-like gene that push the boundary of what is possible in gaming. Now, like I said earlier, it's actually a gaming it's a gaming platform or a gaming project. Now, we are committed in creating an unforgettable gaming experience with our prayer by crafting the world filled with danger, beautiful, and adventure. Our focus is to deliver a product that only immerse you in the world of adventure, but provide you with a true ownership of virtual assets. Now, that is the goal. Now, their focus is to deliver a product that is not that is not only immense you in the world of adventure, but also to provide you with a kind of ownership of an asset. That means, okay, when you play a game, for example, and you earn from it, you are kind of comfortable. Okay, yeah, this asset, I own this asset and all that. So that is one of the main goal of actually creating this game that is actually coming on board and is likely going to make headway because it's a very, very unique game that a lot of people actually look at to actually play when looking at, hey, hello, welcome. Welcome, man, to today's interesting section. You are welcome to today's interesting section. Thank you for joining us live in today's section. Well, when we are live tomorrow, we'll be giving out, I'll be giving out red carpet to everyone actually joining me on this call. In the next 5 minutes, tomorrow, maybe in 5 minutes, I'll give out red carpet to everyone listening to me. Welcome, bro. Thanks for joining us live. So, if you are actually looking for a token to actually trade, look at this. This token is actually a very good token that you can actually look at trading because it's actually a gaming and you can actually get the game, you can play the game and actually earn from it. That is how unique it is. You can actually get the game. Now, looking at it, okay, what is this game really all about? You know what the game is actually really all about, and you play and you tend to earn from it by just playing the game alone. That is how unique this game is when looking at it, for example. Now, what are the basic information we need to know about this game that we're actually what are the basic information that we need to know about this game that we're actually talking. We've looked at the focus area where they're actually focusing on and other. Now, the game developed experience for 5 years with utility, with Unity and Real Engine 4. Now we are developing a first um PC game that combines Soul-like and RPG genes with the advantage of blockchain technology. The Unflattered is built at with to last We are creating a universe that will stand the test of time and all that. And here are the teams. Now, this is what I'm actually, this is kind of what I'm trying to tell you now. If you are going for a project, you need to know the team. Who are the people actually behind the project? Now, are the people actually behind the project? Are they visible? Some projects, like for instance, just for example, like this. Now, you are likely not going to know who actually created, who is the creator, who are the team behind it, who at the end of the day, if we don't pray something to actually go bad, but if something go bad, you don't have anybody to actually to say, oh yeah, you're the one that actually say let's look at this token, let's invest in this token and other. No, so you don't actually have anybody to actually hold in the long run when looking at tokens like that. But this time around is not the same thing, because you have someone that you can actually say, okay, yes, this token is actually, someone is actually giving an assurance that this token is actually something good to actually invest in, to actually make headways when actually looking at it, which is something very, very unique and important that we must actually take note of when looking at games like this. It is very, very important. Like you can see now, you can see the team behind this token. You can see them. I believe everyone can see my screen. You can see the team behind this token, behind this project. Now you can see the advisory board. They also have an advisory board. Then if you want to join their community, you can see the Twitter, you can see the Discord, you see the Telegram, YouTube, Medium, LinkedIn, Instagram and others. So it actually showed, and this was actually revealed in this year. This is a new project that's actually that actually came on board. And so these are all these are actually points that we need to know. What's actually important points that we must take note of when talking about project like this. What do we need to know about it? And so let's get more. Let's check out, okay, what is now the tokenomics of this token? What is the tokenomics of this token that we're actually talking about now? Based on this tokenomics of this token, you can see the total supply here. You can see the pre-sale 2%. You can see the public sale, we can see the private sale 7%. You can see the past executive sale 1%. You can see the sealed. You can see the sealed sale. You can see strategic sale. You can see the advisory sale. You can see the team. You can see the market quality. All these are points that are very, very in liquidity, treasury, stake farming, P2P. How many is actually distributed? How many, now you can see it, how many is in circulation. You can see it. This is what is in circulation currently. This is the total, so the total supply. This is the initial supply. This is the initial market cap and all that. So all these are actually important points that we must take note of when talking about this project. What are they? All these points I'm actually showing you guys are actually what we need to know when talking about project like this, when talking about, okay, this project, is this something that you can actually invest in and all that, is something very, very important that we must take note of when talking about project like this, to show that, okay, yes, we know what we're actually doing. We know that, okay, yes, this project has a very good utility, is a very good project that you can actually invest in and all that. So all these are actually important points that we must take note of when talking about what we need to know about project like this. How can we actually go about it and all that is very, very important that we take note about all these points we're talking about project like this and all that. I believe you guys are following me. Please and please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box, in which justice is going to be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's conversation. So please, if you have any question, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box as we move ahead in the course of today's conversation. So if you have any question, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's conversation. So now, in talking about what else do we need to do? You can see the initial sale, you can see the marketing, how many is actually given into marketing for airdrop and all that. Now, we can see this allocation, the way it's been allocated, the public sale 25%, the private sale 5%, and the sealed sales, they have the strategic sale, they have the past executive sale, they have the team, they have the airdrop, they have the marketing. They can see the way it's been distributed, the allocation base, how many has been, who is getting the Now, if you can see based on all this, so yeah, based on this allocation here that we can see here, we can see that 30%, the larger percent of it goes to the play to earn. The larger percent of the gaming this thing goes to the play to earn. That is with the largest part. It actually goes to the play to earn. The play to earn actually the play to actually earn, it actually gets 30%, the team gets 10%, the staking and farming they get 10%, marketing 10%, and what else again is 10% before we go up. The next one is 7%, 5%, 2%, 1%, 4%, and all that. So this is how it's being distributed across all board so that they are trying to okay, they're trying to create a kind of trust, trying to create a form of trust in the system where you can actually look at and say, okay, yes, I trust the system, I trust the way the market is actually going, I trust the way the project is actually going and all that. So all these are actually important points that we must take note of when talking about project like this, when talking about what do we need to know about project like this, how can we actually go into it, what are the basic information we need to know about project like this and all that. Now you can see the pre-sale here, the funding amount, the funding amount of the token usage of fund, the funding amount, the token, the usage of funds. You can all see this. Now enjoy and earn 1 year. If you can play it for 1 year and all that, then what you are likely going to receive for 2 years, 3 years period, 4 years period, and all that. So all these are actually important points that we must take note of when talking about project like this. What do we need to know about it? How can we actually go about it and all that? So all these are actually important points that we must all take note of when talking about project like this. It's very, very important that we take note of all these points when talking about project like this, when talking about how to actually go about it, what are the basic information we need to know from all this kind of projects. So all these and many more we'll be looking at in the course of today's discussion, trying to get a basic more understanding about what this project is actually really all about and all that. Now, based on what we can see here, you can see this place here, you can see that okay, the Unflattered is a role-playing of video game that offers a unparalleled decentralized gaming experience on the blockchain. The gaming features soul-like genes developed by Tender Software on the Unreal Engine 4, designed to provide players with an immense and challenging gaming experience. The mission of the Unflattered is to provide a gaming freedom and vision to actually create a affair of transparency in the ecosystem. So that is actually what the gaming is actually really, that is what the project is actually really all about. It's actually a gaming where you actually play is an adventure where you go on an adventure and you play game and you tend to come back and earn massively from it and other. So all these are actually important points that are very, very important that we must actually take note of when talking about games like this, when talking about how we need what we need to know, how can we actually go about it and other. So all these are actually basic information that we need to actually know about this. So now we can see that for me, if you're trying to check, okay, what are they actually about? I've talked about what they've actually and what are they really all about and other. Now, the Unflattered is an upcoming Web3 video game developed by Tender Software on an Unreal Engine 4. The game and the soul-like gene resolve around the mysterious and warrior woman wanting for 4 years by the chosen one by the gods. And this character is tasked with battling an underground monster in the kind of a turning of the world into the land of the dead and also parallel and rule and all that. All this, like you can see all these are actually basic, all important information that we need to know when talking about now the quarter of 2020 that kind defined the concept of the game. We actually are preparing the game series. This was how the game was actually being built, and also actually the way the game was actually built, and all the information you need to know about these games. All these are actually important information that we need to actually take note of when talking about games like this. All this is actually what we need to know when talking about games like this, all the basic information we need to know when talking about games like this. How can we actually what do we need to know? How can we actually go about it and all that? So these and many more we'll be looking at as we move ahead in the course of this section and all that. So the more you play, the more you earn from it. So if you play more of this game, you tend to earn more of this game. These are the teams and all that. So all these are actually what we need to know. All these are the basic information that we need to know when talking about this project. What do we what are they actually really all about? How can we actually go about it and all that? So all these are actually important points that are very, very important when talking about games like this. What are the basic information we need to know about these games? It is very, very important that we take note of this. So, based on these details we can have here, we can see the detail here. You can see the DIO, the IDO on the station launch pad. You can see the token supply, the total token of supply, the cap and all that. You can see soul. You can see one soul is equals to, at this point was currently one soul. We check what one soul is actually talking about. One soul is around 0.03, if I'm right. 0.0, okay, yeah, 0.003. That is what one soul is actually really all about when looking at soul himself. How many so zero is actually 1.003 when looking at it. But yeah, let's check more now. You can see, but when it started, you can see the token price was when they actually launched it, one soul was around 0.009, and other token distribution. We've actually explained it, and the control limitation, the roadmap of how it's actually what they plan and all that in the quarter. For example, now for 2024, they're looking at the second trade of the metaverse, and also continue to sell land on the metaverse, launching the metaverse and all that. So they unflat the launch code trial, and also all these are actually basic information that we need to know. And also you can actually get in contact of the advisory board of the team on LinkedIn. If you're actually looking at going into them, just need to check research on them online to get basic information about what they actually do and all that. Now, based on this, now you can see how many is in total, how many is in circulation. You can see how many is actually. We'll also begin to come and get cap is still loading. Now, this is this is a day. Let's check how it's currently rating in all price. Now you can see the way it is. You can see based on this, based on the, you can see it. You can see the roadmap and all that. The way it actually is, what we need to know about it. Now the price now is actually the current price right now is around the current price is around 0.00035. Okay, in the last, it has actually traded, that was in the last 24 hours, and it has actually traded 15,370 billion dollars. Now SOAP price is down. It's actually down by 9.9% and other in the last 24 hours, and it marks and its maximum SOAP price around 3 billion and other. So all these points are actually basic information that we need to actually know when talking about project like this, when talking about what are they really all about. All these are actually basic information we need to know about project like this when actually looking at it. Now, in order to search for the real time and historical information about the SOAP blockchain, about the unflattered blockchain, including the data related to blocks, to kind of the block transaction address and more. You may actually use the unflattered SOAP to explorer, to kind of a block explorer and all that. And here are some of the most popular and useful unflattered SOAP out there and other, which we have it's actually built on the polygonscan.com. And others. What actually I've actually talked about what this unflattered SOAP. Now this you can see that different websites actually pushing out this, but that is, if it's not something good, if it's not something you can they actually look into to actually invest in and all that. It's not something that You don't that we won't see something that is very very unique that you must actually take note of when talking about project like this. Very very important that we take note of all this information when talking about project like this. Very very important. Now how does this actually on flat work? How does this on flat work? In gaming item there are several gaming items classified in the unflattered, characterized by weapon, ammunition, characters, armor, and all these individuals in-game item like weapon and armor will register as NFT on the blockchain. So they actually register as NFT on the blockchain. The player will have full ownership over the in-game equipment through NFT. So now you tend to have control, you tend to have access. So all this through is through an in-game asset known as NFT. You tend to have access to it. It's going to be given to you through that as an NFT when actually looking at it on the real sense, which is a very, very a good sign or a positive view when actually looking at project like this or how the project actually works. And it is very, very important we note all this. Now in NFT, in-game NFT, there will be different type of NFT in the unflattered the first place. There will be in-game NFT. The player who has an in-game item can use the equipment can use to equip their character and put the fossil or audition in the game marketplace or rent it to other players. Now new mechanisms for the in-game NFT will regularly be developed to offer a game different avenue model and others. So what is now the features of this thing? We have exciting game, we have play to earn, we have re-engineer and others. So now what is this token? This token that we're actually talking about, what is the soul token? Now it's actually the on flat is actually the native token is actually what you know as soul, which you can currently trade on gate.io. It's currently on gate.io that you can actually trade when looking at it's currently on gate.io. Now when looking at okay, what platform can you actually trade the native tokens? Actually on gate.io, and you can actually trade it currently on gate.io. That is a perfect place where you can actually trade this token when looking at it. Let me go on gate.io. You can see now we're currently on gate.io. You can see it. These are places in which you can actually trade this token. You can see this token here. You can see it here. Let's check let's do some analysis here. Let's do some analysis here. I don't know what's wrong here. What's actually wrong? Should I reopen this page? Let's get trying to do some analysis about this token. My page is loading. um, While it's loading, let's move ahead. So it's currently trading on. You can see it has been moving up. Now it has cancelled before. It went down to around 9%, and other. But luckily for us, this morning it has actually gone down to around 8%. That means it's actually retracing back the market space, and it's actually retracing back, trying to get a very good momentum when looking at the market and other. So all these are actually important, points that we need to actually take note of when talking about project like this. How can we actually what do we need to know about? We need to do a lot of analysis about what all this token is actually really all about. You don't just go and actually invest in a project that you don't have much understanding about. You need to know that okay, yes, this is what this project is actually really about. This is what the market is actually saying concerning this project before you actually invest in it. It's very, very important that you do a kind of a technical analysis, a fundamental analysis about what the project you're actually planning on pushing out there. What is the project really all about? What are they actually talking about? It's very, very important that you understand what the project is actually all about before actually pushing it out there. It is very, very important that we do that. So now, okay, the page is loading. When it load, we will get some basic information. We do kind of do some technical analysis to see okay, what is the coin, where is the coin right now, what is the coin market price, and how can you actually get an edge when looking at coins like this? How can you actually leverage on the market when looking at coins like this? Will you just How can you actually invest in it when actually looking at coin like this? What do you need to know about this coin, this kind of coins? How should you actually go up this kind of native tokens and other? Now, we've actually explained a lot when talking about this token. You can see where it's actually okay. You can see it right now, trying to get the market, trying to get the market. Now you can see these dots here. I believe everyone can see. You can see from this line. Let me check. Everyone see my screen. Okay, yeah, everyone can see my screen. So okay, you can see from this dot here, it went down here. It has a retrace here. This you can see this line here. So now, will you call this one an uptrend or a downtrend movement over time? You call this is a 30 minutes time frame, and I just compressed it. I just brought it together to so that we can see what has been happening in the market so far. Now you can see it's kind of slant. If I bring my line here to draw it, you can see it's just straight, it's slant here, it's slanted now. So what you can actually you can see it here, it's actually giving you a kind of a form of a shape when looking at it. It came here, it came back here, it retraced back again to get a top here and other. So all this information, all these points are actually what we need to know when talking about project like this. What do we need to know about? And you can see based on this point here, you can see it you can see a brief, it's actually not give a kind of a brief explanation about what the token is actually all about. It said that the unflattered is a role playing game, playing video game that offers a kind of a on an unparalleled decentralized gaming experience on the blockchain. Game features like soul-like genes, developed by the Tender software on the real engine on real engine, designed by providers players with the immense and also challenging game experience. AI powered infrastructure and also unflattered offer gaming innovation and an innovation gaming experience with a unique NPC interaction mechanisms. The mission is to bring true gaming freedom with stunning graphics Web 3 and order. Now the vision is to create a fair and transparent gaming system and order. So all these are actually you can see it here, all these are actually basic information that we need to actually take note when talking about the gaming system. What do we need to know about this? Now, based on what we have here now, we can see that okay, the mission is to bring a true gaming freedom to the stunning graphics web 3. The vision is to create a kind of a fair and transparent gaming ecosystem with blockchain technology and proof with true ownership of NFT. Because you know that when you actually your armor, your all the tools you actually use for this, they actually give you in a form of NFT. You actually get it in a form of NFT. That is the way you get all those item and order. So it's actually a good adventure that you can actually take when talking about games like this. How can you actually leverage on them? What you need to know about them? What are the advantage of them? How you can actually key into it when looking at it in a long run. So all these points are actually are very important when talking about games like this. When talking about how to actually go about it. And I believe you guys are for them. Please and please, if you have any question whatsoever, you are free to ask on the chat box so that justice can be done as we keep moving ahead in the course of today's conversation. Is very important. If you have any question, if you need any clarification whatsoever, you are free to ask in the chat box so that justice can be done as we move ahead in the course of this conversation. So all these are actually basic points we need to know when talking about games like this. What do we need to know? How can we actually go about it? And that is very important that we take note of all this. It's very important that we take note of all these points when talking about games like this, how we can actually go about it, how what is there for us, how we need to know, what do we need to know and all that. Now you can see it. Now okay, let's push it up, let's get a basic view about what the market is saying. Now remember we're in 30 minutes time frame, so we should expect in 30 minutes what should the market be saying. Should I go to 1 hour? Let's go to 1 hour. Let's go to 1 hour to get another view of what the market is saying. So all these points are actually important point that we need to know. Is there enough liquidity in the market? Now you can't invest in a project when there is not enough liquidity. Now you have to check the project I'm actually talking about. Is there enough liquidity in the market space? What do I stand to gain? What do I stand to benefit from project like this when investing in it? It is very, very important that we take note of all these points before we actually go into investing in it. It is very, very important that we take note of all these points, what the game is actually really all about, how can we actually go about it, how can we actually trade it, how what are what and what is the basic information we need to know about the token and all that is very, very important that we take note of all these points when talking about games like this and all that is very, very important that we take note of all these points. So it is very, very important that we take note of all these points when talking about tokens like this. What should they really about? What is the current market saying about these tokens? And that is very, very important that we take note of all this when talking about project like this, and that is very, very important. So okay, because of it's still loading, it's still loading, or should we come back to 30 minutes? Okay, it has loaded. So now, based on what we can see here, you can see the market here, you can see the way the market is ranging. So just pushing it up, let's get more view about the market. Let's get more view about the market. Um, this should close. This should close. So now, yeah, this is it here. You can see it here. I believe everyone can see my screen closely. Now you can see it here. Now you can see the way it was here before. Now it actually got to this place here. Now it actually got to this place here, the lower position. Now it came down, it gave down here, it gives here. Now it came down, it just had a little drop again, maybe few people sold, it had a little drop again, it came down again. Now it came down, so you can see it here, you can see this analysis here. It came down, you draw it here, it retraces it here, and all that. A lot of stuff just happened around this area, and it actually came down here again, and it's actually moving forward. Basically maybe it's moving forward back because of it's actually going to still come down before actually moving forward and all that. Now who are the people that actually push this market to the way it is now? Who are the people that actually invest more in this market now? These are financial institutions. I do tell people that you need to understand what the market is, the financial institutions of the market. What are they actually saying concerning the project? What are they saying about the market? Is it a good avenue to invest in the long run? What do you stand to benefit from actually investing in projects like this and other? Now you have to understand what is the tokenomics of the project, what is the project actually really all about, what is the goal of it. All these points are actually are very, very important when talking about project like this, when talking about what we need to know, how can we actually go about it. And it is very, very important that we take note of all these basic points when talking about project like this, what we need to know, how we can actually go about them, how we can leverage on the market to make huge profits in the long run and all that. So you can see it has a very good utility. It has a market cap of okay, it has a good okay, yeah, in this social period of time they actually want to reach this market cap. They actually have and all this point actually now you can see it based on what the market has been read to find. A lot of people have been selling and a lot of people have been selling the project and a lot of people are just selling the token and all, but at the same time, the fact that it's actually a good position to actually buy. Why did I say let's go to coin market cap to get kind of under? You can see it's actually moving in a downward direction. Now this move here has been okay. Yeah, we can say okay, it's pushing forward, and so if you understand how to make use of if you understand your trade, how to use a kind of maybe futures trading and all that. Just okay, yeah, this is the right time to go in. Just buy and just analyze the market and sell, or you make use, or you buy for a long period of time and actually trade. You actually hold the coin for a particular period of time before you actually sell off and all that. But you need to understand what the project actually is very, very important that we understand what the project is actually all about, what the project is actually tends to offer. You need to understand all this point before actually looking into investing in all those projects. It's very, very important that we understand what the project is actually all about. What are they actually offering? The market space is very, very important that we note all those points when investing in projects like this. It is very, very important that we take note of all those points when investing in project like this. So now let's looking for it based on what you can see here. Let's go to the coin market cap. Let's go to coin market cap to get more view about this token. Let's go to coin market cap. Now you can see the market has been red. Based on the square market cap here, we can see the market has been so red based on this token. The token has actually been red and other you can see it here. But at the same time, let's check about at the all-time high of this token. What is the all-time high of this token? What is the all-time low? Because that is what I do check most time before I check the all-time high, check the all-time low, check how many has been in circulation. Now, based on the all-time high, now you can see that based on this all-time high, you can see the market has even actually gotten a kind of the all-time high 0.01. It has actually cancelled 1 0. It has actually cancelled 1 0. It has gotten one, but the all-time low, it actually went down drastically from that one. It cancelled that one to actually 3. I believe you guys can see this project. You can see what is actually happening in the market and why. What is now the cause of this? Now, will you say that okay, the cause of this is actually you are actually the cause of this? No, it's financial institutions that actually controls the way the market. I do tell people that financial institutions actually controls the way or is it that people are not actually playing the game? No, it doesn't mean that people are not actually playing the game. No, now you need to actually invest in the token. You need to actually invest in the native. Maybe you buy the game or you try to buy a kind of using the platform and other. So all these are actually basic information. Now, if you can actually buy this token and the rate it is that because now based on this token you can see their website, you can see the total supply, you can see the total supply here, you can see the maximum supply, you can see the float dilution, you can see what other basic point do we have here. You can see okay, let's move now. Okay, circulating supply, they didn't write it here on coin market cap. Don't have it, they didn't write the coin market cap and all that. Now you can see it has actually went down to that's actually gotten a minus 74% in all time high. That's actually gone down to 97 I mean 40 74 and market cap another, which is not a good sign. It's not actually a good sign when looking at the market, to be sincere. It's not actually a good sign when looking at the market itself. So let's check on what exchanges, because these are actually points you need to actually take note of project like this before actually investing. You need to check. Okay, it's just trading. It just came on Gate.io. I think even the coming on is just recently it came and actually trading high liquidity score 18. Okay, the volume is around 70. That means it's actually trading very high on Gate.io, which is a good sign. It's actually getting traded high on Gate.io, which is actually a good sign that people can actually, and I believe that they're actually expanding to other exchanges where you can actually look into to actually invest in them and other, which is also very, very important that we need to actually take note of and all that. Now, this is actually what the overview of what they took of what the project is actually all about, what they want to do, and they said that they unflagged the first story-based AA game in and kind of features a play to end, actually features play to end NFT metaverse, bringing your story with a lonely woman journey on the end and blood and chain and so. So it's actually a very very interesting game when you play it, when you actually look at the project, what they are actually looking at, the future prediction of the market of what they are actually looking at achieving is something very, very good. It's something very good that we need to actually pinpoint. Now we have a lot of news. This 15 days ago, we have 1 day ago news about the soul. What is the soul market actually talking about? The ICO. I would like to see what the ICO is actually all about. Now you can see the ICO, the token, because it was discovered that most tokens actually needed to actually release their ICO to know okay what is the player actually really all about and all that is very very important that we note that. Now based on this you can see the token for sale. um the ICO price 0.009. That was the ICO price. That was the price that actually went, that actually was that actually that was the launching price 0.09. Now the software cap, they have the fundraising, the funding rise, it are actually raising a huge amount of money, and all that. Where to buy, you can actually buy on get.io. The total supply, you can see the 0.55%, 0.55% has been the supply in the market space, and all that. So all these are actually basic information that, and when talking about the market of where you can actually trade it, is currently on get.io. You can actually trade it on get.io when looking at it and others. So all these points are very, very important when looking at games, when looking at features like this. What we need to know, how can you actually go about it? What are the basic information we need to know about tokens like this? It's very, very important that we take note of all these points when talking about project like this, when talking about what we need to know, how can we actually go about it and all that. Now, no, so all these are actually, so I don't know if you have any question whatsoever. Please, if you have any question whatsoever so far, you are free to ask on the chat box so that we can actually do justice to it when explaining what this token. So these are basic information that we need to all understand. We need to take note of when talking about projects like this, when talking about what are they really all about, how can we actually leverage on it on a long run, what is a positioning of this token and other. So it all depends on the financial, it all depends on the financial institutions. What is the financial institution of this token? What are they actually talking about? Is it a good form of investment that you can actually go into? What is their projection price, limit, and all that? So it's actually invest based on the price, you can see it has actually went down a kind of this thing and all that. So it's actually a good time to actually, I can say it's actually a good time if you're looking at positioning your market in the long run. It's actually a good sign to actually invest in the market, to actually key into the market. If you're looking at investing in the market in a long run, it's actually a good sign that you can actually look into the market to actually invest in and gain huge profit when talking about the market space. I know that is very, very important that you take note of all these points. Very, very important that you take note of all these points when talking about project like this, how to actually go about it, and all that is very, very important that we take note of all these points when talking about project like this and all that. So I don't know if you have any question whatsoever. We are gradually coming to an end of today's section. I don't know if you have any question whatsoever. So, in absence of any questions, I've actually come to the end of today's session. I want to appreciate everyone for joining me live, for listening to me all through today's session. I believe you guys have gained a lot. You can see it's actually going high. It has actually left this place, and it's actually 0.003, and it's actually gotten here. And you can actually you can actually buy, maybe you can actually buy 100 USDT of this token and all that, and also invest in it, look into it, looking at it in the long run, you actually tend to make huge profit, because the all-time high of this token was around 0.01. It actually cancelled one, and it actually went down. And over time, it's going to, the market is going, when the market is now stable, it's actually going to retrace back to, and market is actually trading, the fact that it's actually trading on GitHub, that should show that actually it has a potential of coming back up hugely when, if you understand the way the market actually works. So that is all we're talking about in today's section. Thank you so much for everyone that has joined us live. I believe you guys have gained a lot from what I've actually shared with you guys. Thank you so, so much for joining us live in today's session. Join us same time tomorrow for another interesting conversation where we'll all come together and learn together and go together. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Stay blessed, guys. See you tomorrow for another. Tomorrow I'll be giving out red carpet to everyone joining me on the call. The first 30 people that joined me, they'll be getting red carpets tomorrow. So join me same time tomorrow, and also join me and also trade get on. If you're not yet trading on get.io, kindly trade. If you've not bought a token on get.io, please kindly buy so that we all can actually grow together. If I'm going, it's very important that you also grow. So that is all we're talking about in today's session. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow for another interesting conversation. Stay blessed, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.